We've got a very special guest on today's show. He's Australian champion in a number of disciplines. Please make him welcome, Robbie Radis. G'day, Robbie. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. So, why don't you tell us about what are these championships that you're championing?
Well, I ended up being a slalom windsurfing champion in 4 times in Australia.
Wow.
And then I went on to do a windsurfing tour that goes throughout, say, Southeast Asia.
Right.
And I managed to win that 6 times.
Fantastic.
And I also won a world title in Formula Windsurfing. So I pretty much achieved all the goals I ever wanted to achieve in windsurfing.
That's great. So what's left?
Well, I can't get too greedy.
So just for those people at home who might not know what slalom windsurfing is, can you just explain what that is?
Yeah, slalom windsurfing is basically you're on gear designed to go very fast. The sails are boards designed to go very fast, also turn corners.
So it's racing?
It's racing basically, yeah.
So, what age did you get into the sport? Because obviously to be Australian champion you must have had a bit of practice under your belt.
Yeah, I got into it quite young. I was 13 years old. 13?
Wow. So how many years is that? 10 years now, is it?
13, 14 years.
Yeah. And are you a local WA boy?
Yeah, I was brought up in Scarborough, just a suburb in Perth.
Yeah. And
so I just windsurfed at a local area called local beach actually, Scarborough. And that's where I learned how to sail.
Right.
Got myself a little push bike, a trolley, and every day after school, you used to ride down to the beach. And
fantastic. So that's good that you started at a very early age, because a lot of people think that it's an expensive sport, that you have to have a job in order to start. So to hear someone starting that age is very refreshing.
Yeah, basically it's expensive. You want the top notch, the best of the equipment out there. But when I started, I got a second-hand sail, second-hand board. Everything together was like a couple $100, so it's quite cheap to get into it.
Yeah, so that's good advice. So if you're thinking about it, you don't have to be rich. Just get some second-hand gear and get out there.
Sure.
And what about when you're in town locally in Perth? Where could we find Robbie Radis sailing on a weekend? Say.
Probably just straight out Scarborough Beach, where I learned how to windsurf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the best local area for sailing.
Yeah.
And if the conditions are right, I quite often come to Mandurah. It's quite nice too.
Fantastic. So we're here today at Geary's, just down from Mandurah. So what brings you into the waves, and is that something you want to maybe perform at a high level at as well? Is that one of your goals?
Well, wave sailing has always been my fun time for sailing. Like over the years, I actually turned professional in windsurfing, and it was racing, and slalom racing was my profession. And it was always good to have the wave sailing, to go out there and just have a good time, loop around, ride waves, and just do whatever you want to do. And so I kept that just for fun, even though that a lot of people do compete in that, and that is discipline too, but I always kept that side for fun.
Right. So for someone who hasn't tried wave sailing, and there are a lot of people out there that aspire to that discipline, what advice would you give them to be able to sort of creep their way into it? Because it's pretty scary, like first time out there, big waves crashing on top of you and all that sort of stuff.
Well, so the first thing is work your way down to a wave board, a wave sail, and from the bigger gear you would have learnt on, and
so just on flat water, get comfortable.
First use the wave gear, wave sail on flat water.
Yep.
Wait till you can comfortably go back and forwards, turn back and forwards, and then you go to a place called even Lanceland. It's a really nice, which is very flat water. Then going into the waves out the back on an average height day. Don't go when the space big.
Don't listen to him. I nearly drowned at Lanceland. Try Safety Bay.
Yeah, that's definitely step by step. Go out and don't go out in waves that are too big at first.
Yeah.
Then as you feel more confident, you can go out in bigger waves.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so one last question, Robbie. What's your favourite move in windsurfing? What's the most spectacular move visually for you?
I like doing really big aerials on the way back in. So you basically ride the waves and smack the lip and just fly up into the air, and then come back down with the wave and land back on the wave nicely. So it's a real art to do it, because you basically got to judge the height you're in the air, the way the wave's breaking, and just line up perfectly to come back down with it.
Yeah.
It's just basically it's like feeling like you're flying basically by the wave. It feels nice.
All right. Well, thanks for spending some time with us here on Local Windsurfing WA. Robbie Radis, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome to the equipment segment of the show, and we're here with Reg from Windsurfing Perth. G'day, Reg. And he's going to be telling us all about boards. So take it away, Reg.
This is a fantastic beginner's board. Right. It's got a centre board, it's got flotation, and it's got foot straps for when you get better.
Right.
It's narrow, so you can do beach starts and water starts with it, and you'll find this in the shed with all your mates.
Right, let's go. Let's move on, shall we?
And you can move it on.
All right. Okay, so what's this board? What have we got here? What is it?
This is the next level up. Yeah. You still have a bit of flotation in it, but you make sure you get a board where the foot straps can be put inside and in the middle. Yeah. And the bonus is going from that board to this board is that it's half the weight. Absolutely perfect.
Would this be called a free ride board? Or?
This is called a free ride board, or in technical terms, an excite ride.
So you've got a bit better, right? You've been on that one a year or a couple of months or?
About 6 months.
6 months, and then you move on to this board.
You actually keep the other one because you use that for your light winds, and then you progress. So you want to go faster in stronger winds, and you want to start jumping waves because you live in WA.
Okay.
This is very fast, very manoeuvrable, and a little bit lighter. And it fits in the back of your car just that much easier. It's called a freestyle wave because it's free. No, it's not free. It's a freestyle wave. In other words, it performs very well on flat water as well as waves.
So now we've progressed quite a lot now, haven't we, Reg? And we've moved on to a what?
It depends. If you're a heavy person, you start with a freestyle wave because that's basically designed for heavier people to use in the waves as well as on flat water and whatever. But if you're a lighter person, you'll find that the freestyle wave has too much flotation in it. Then you move on to a wave board. Now this is fantastic because basically you're looking at your rocker line, your curvature and your rails.
Right. So Reg, you were talking about rails and rocker line and all these technical terms. Can you explain them on the board? Show us what they are.
I'll run through them very, very quickly. Basically your rails are on the side here, and because you've got the graphics on this, you can see it very easily. It starts fairly sharp and then they start to run over and they're actually tucked over. Because they're tucked over on the face of a wave, they'll actually manoeuvre very nicely. Okay. Then you've got another thing on a board, which I'll show you with this, which is called a V. The V is basically where the board comes like that, or like that, no, like that. Like that? Yeah. No, sorry, like that. So what allows you to do is to turn very, very nicely. Okay. You can see it there.
So basically all the features on this board are to help the board turn?
Yes, very much so. Right. And to make it very smooth. Okay. Then it has what they call nose kick, and you can see that very clearly. If you put the board on its rail like that, you can see how the nose goes up, and that's so when you're dropping off a big wave, the nose doesn't catch and you can ride the wave. Very similar to a surfboard. At the back of the board it's very nice and thin. What this allows the board to do, that when you go into a jibe on the face of the wave, it cuts into the water, gives you a very smooth performance. Right. That's basically your wave board.